Have you ever wished to be someone who is unshakable? Someone who doesn't flinch at criticism, rejection, or betrayal? Perhaps you're exhausted from maintaining a strong exterior while silently aching inside, desperately wanting just a moment's rest from the pressure of appearing invulnerable. Let me share something that few have the courage to tell you. As long as you try to avoid pain, it will continue to control you. While you attempt to protect yourself by numbing your emotions or hiding your vulnerabilities, you remain hostage to everything around you. The hurtful words, disappointing actions, and devastating silences. This isn't weakness, it's reality for most people. Some just hide it better than others. Carl Jung, one of history's greatest psychologists, taught us that we are not what happens to us, but what we choose to become. The key isn't building impenetrable walls around your heart. It's about integration, bringing to light everything that currently affects you in darkness. True strength isn't the absence of pain, but complete awareness of who you are, even when you're wounded. If you've made it this far into this video, it's not by accident. This message is specifically for you, the person tired of being hurt by everything and everyone. It's for you who feels emotionally disadvantaged, as though others possess some power over you that you can't understand. I want to show you another path, but it requires confronting uncomfortable truths. Perhaps for the first time, this discomfort will set you free. If you're serious about transforming your life before this year ends, click subscribe right now. At Motivation Dose, we deliver daily wisdom that will revolutionize how you navigate your emotional landscape. Don't wait. Your journey towards true emotional freedom begins with that simple click. Let's begin with a brutal truth. What hurts you isn't out there. It's not in others' actions, poorly chosen words, or unexpected betrayals. These external events only wound you because they connect with open injuries already inside you. What truly hurts isn't what others do. It's what their actions activate within you. It's the story you tell yourself, the unaddressed trauma, the emptiness you mask with pride, or the desperate need to appear well-adjusted. Jung revealed that our pain when facing the outside world merely reflects what hasn't been integrated into our internal world. This explains why some people endure devastating circumstances yet maintain clarity, while others crumble from a simple comment. It's not about what happens, but where it strikes you. Here's an uncomfortable reality. You suffer because, on some level, you believe you can control how the world treats you. You're still trying to be good enough, smart enough, strong enough, as if that guarantees protection from pain. But control is an illusion, and clinging to it creates constant tension as you try to predict the unpredictable and avoid the inevitable. Do you want freedom from suffering? Then stop trying to protect yourself from suffering. What you need isn't more control, but greater awareness. As long as you believe others must change for your pain to stop, you remain enslaved by their actions. Your liberation begins when you understand that everything external only has power if it resonates within you. This is where the true battlefield lies, in the unconscious mind. What you don't see, understand, or master ends up mastering you. The biggest lie you've accepted is that you're in control of your life. Wake up, because you're not. At least not while living on autopilot, reacting without understanding why, feeling without knowing the source, making decisions you later sabotage. Jung made this clear. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. That's exactly what's happening right now. Your unexplained pain, sudden anger, and overwhelming sadness aren't random. They're messages from forgotten, ignored, and repressed parts of yourself. The unconscious isn't just vague thoughts. It's an active force, an entire system of memories, traumas, desires, and fears you've avoided confronting. but which continue determining your feelings and actions. Is this resonating with you? Are you ready to dive deeper into understanding yourself? If you're committed to genuine transformation, subscribe to Motivation Dose right now. Our daily content provides the tools and wisdom to navigate your unconscious patterns and discover true emotional freedom. Your future self will thank you for taking this step today. Wonder why certain words devastate you while others remain unfazed? Those words touch sensitive points within you, wounds that remain alive because you've never confronted them. Just push them under the psychological rug, only to keep tripping over them later. Jung taught us, we cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. What have you been doing? Judging yourself? Repressing your feelings? Silencing your truth, as if that would somehow heal you? The truth is, your unconscious doesn't disappear because you ignore it. It finds more dangerous ways to manifest, in toxic relationships you repeatedly enter, in patterns of self-sabotage you can't break, in anxieties that arise precisely when everything seems fine. This isn't bad luck. It's your unconscious trying to wake you up while you insist on sleeping. If you want to become someone who isn't constantly hurt, stop running from what's inside you. As long as you remain disconnected from your unconscious, you're merely a puppet of your emotions. The more you try protecting yourself from external pain, the more vulnerable you become to internal suffering. There is a way out, not through defense, but through integration. Becoming untouchable isn't an act of resistance, it's an act of profound self-knowledge. Most people believe avoiding hurt requires closing themselves off. They build walls, create masks, develop emotional armor, and pretend nothing affects them. I don't care anymore, they say. Nothing gets to me. Yet inside they continue bleeding, corroding, because the problem was never about feeling. It's about not knowing what you're feeling and why. Jung precisely stated, "Know all the theories, master all the techniques, but when touching a human soul, be just another human soul." That human soul you've hidden behind a strong, invulnerable, controlled character is screaming to be seen. Emotional strength has nothing to do with coldness, ignoring pain, avoiding conflict, or pretending indifference. It's about integration, accepting and illuminating everything you've buried in darkness. You don't become untouchable by creating barriers between yourself and the world. You become untouchable when you realize nobody can touch what you've already embraced within yourself. When you integrate your shadows, fears, flaws, and insecurities, you stop reacting to everything. You observe. You choose. You're no longer an emotional puppet, and that is true freedom. Jung called this individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are. Not what others expect, not what you thought would make you acceptable, but what emerges when ego meets unconscious. Individuation isn't about perfection, but integration. You don't need to become better. You need to become whole. Here's the secret nobody told you. The more you run from pain, the more it chases you. The more you try not to be affected, the more fragile you become. But when you face your wounds and accept your complete self, with everything beautiful and ugly, noble and shameful, nothing external has the power to dismantle you. This path requires courage. Courage to look within, abandon masks, and truly feel. Because within pain lies the key to transformation. Since childhood, you learned to hate pain. You were taught suffering indicates weakness, crying wastes time, and feeling too much makes you vulnerable. So you began running, avoiding, denying. But the more you flee from suffering, the more it pursues you, changing form, disguising itself as anxiety, anger, apathy, boredom, or self-destructive impulses whose origins you can't comprehend. Ignored pain doesn't vanish. It excavates tunnels inside you until everything eventually collapses. Jung viewed suffering differently. He believed pain was the soul's messenger, the unconscious mind's alarm, the language your complete self uses to gain your attention. Depression is like a lady in black, he said. If she appears, don't push her away. Invite her to sit, offer her coffee, and listen to what she has to say. But you don't listen. You silence yourself, stay busy, numb the pain, do everything possible to avoid confronting what matters. What is this suffering trying to show you? If you've stayed with me this far, you are ready for transformation. Subscribe to Motivation Dose now to continue this journey. Every day, we provide insights that help you integrate your shadows and discover your authentic power. Don't walk this path alone. Join our community of people committed to genuine growth. The truth is, suffering hurts so much because you're at war with yourself. Part of you yearns to grow, while another desperately maintains the status quo. Something inside cries out for transformation, but your ego, accustomed to control, tries suffocating that call. In this friction, pain is born. Change hurts. Growth hurts. Releasing old beliefs, cutting toxic connections, allowing what no longer serves you to die, all constitute a mourning, an internal process of death and rebirth. Yet in this space of ruin, something new emerges. When certainties crumble and pain exposes your vulnerability, you finally see who you truly are without protective layers, without performance, without masks. At that precise moment, suffering becomes sacred because it brings you to your knees before the only thing capable of freeing you, your authentic self. Jung understood suffering isn't a system failure, but part of the process. Pain isn't the journey's end, but its beginning, the first step towards individuation. Most people abandon the path before crossing that dark valley. They flee, distract themselves, return to the surface. But not you. If you've come this far, you're ready to cross. Few have the courage to begin individuation. Fewer still complete it. This path offers no comfort, no guarantees, no protection for your ego. It destroys it. Jung described individuation as becoming who you are, which primarily means unlearning who you think you are. That hurts more than any external rejection because you realize much of what defined you was illusion. You are not your achievements. You are not your traumas. You are not the image constructed to be loved, respected, or admired. These were survival mechanisms, but surviving differs from living. Individuation is life's call beyond survival, when the unconscious pushes everything repressed, hidden, and distorted to the surface. Individuation requires dissolving the persona. Jung wrote, "For it is merely a mask of collective convenience. You must tear away your own skin to discover what lies beneath. During this process, you become untouchable, not because nothing affects you, but because you've already walked through fire. You've faced your monsters, looked into the eyes of your shame, neediness, and anger, saying, 'I see you, and you no longer control me.' This internal clarity, this lucidity facing your darkness, grants strength independent of approval, recognition, or control. You no longer need universal love, victorious arguments, or appearing strong because you know yourself, and no one can take that away. True emotional armor isn't a shell, but a core. The integration of all parts into a consciousness center that remains unmoved during storms. You may feel pain, but it doesn't break you. You may hurt, but you don't lose yourself. You've stopped reacting and become whole, stopped living superficially, and inhabited the depths. This depth comes with a price: loneliness. Not because you'll be alone, but because few can accompany you. Most remain trapped in surfaces, masks, and fear of feeling. When you free yourself, you inevitably distance yourself, not out of pride, but maturation. You no longer fit where you once hid. Finally, understand that consciousness becomes your shield. Not strength, but clarity protects you. Nothing will shield you from external suffering if you remain unconscious of your internal landscape. Words will continue hurting, rejections stinging, losses devastating, until you awaken. Awakening isn't magical but a daily choice, looking inward even when painful, taking responsibility for your feelings without blaming others. Jung said, "What you resist persists. What you accept transforms." You've spent your life resisting the fear of inadequacy, the emptiness of rejection, the pain of loneliness, the anguish of invisibility. You hid, silenced yourself, attempted controlling everything, strived for perfection and strength. Now you're exhausted, tired of fighting the world and yourself. But now you understand. True emotional immunity isn't hardness, but clarity. Not armor, but expanded awareness. When you comprehend your triggers, patterns, and wounds, others' actions lose their destructive power. You still feel, but don't drown. You still suffer, but maintain your center. What shields you isn't protection from life, but immersion in it. Those living on the surface get hurt by every wave. Those who dive discover silence, stability, and power below. That's your destination. When you live from integration, presence, and acceptance, the world may try knocking you down, but finds no place to strike. If something within you has awakened while watching this, if you feel ready to choose awareness over avoidance, subscribe to Motivation Dose right now. Comment below, "I choose awareness," and join our movement of people no longer surviving by pretending strength, but living with truth. Remember, we post transformative content daily, providing you with consistent wisdom to guide your journey. The next video continues this path. Real transformation only begins when you don't stop at the first step. Subscribe now, and I'll see you there.